Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is to honor dolphins. I'll be going over their bodily structures, their social structures, how they hunt, communicate, and the different issues that threaten their populations, and what you can do to combat these issues. So let's get started. Dolphins are highly intelligent marine mammals and are part of the family of cetaceans, or toothed whales, that includes orcas and pilot whales. Their taxonomy reads as follows. They're in the kingdom Animalia, the phylum Chordata, the class Mammalia, the order Artiodactylae, the infraorder or family Cetacea, and the parvorder Odontocidae. You can break them down into different groups and clades, but I won't go into that at this time. Dolphins are carnivores, and they consume a variety of prey including fish, squid, and crustaceans. Dolphins mostly use echolocation to hunt. I will go over that a little bit more in detail later, but just to sum it up, echolocation is a built-in sonar that bounces sound waves off of prey and reveals information like the location, size, and shape of that prey. An echolocating bottlenose dolphin can make up to 1,000 clicking noises per second, and what they do is use echolocation to find prey and often hunt together by surrounding a school of fish, trapping them, and taking turns swimming through the school and catching the fish. Now, the overall anatomy of the dolphin is designed to survive in the water. All dolphins have similar anatomical and morphological characteristics. This means that all species have some features that do not differ widely between species. Obviously, there are differences in skin color, shape, size, and weight, but it is relatively easy to recognize that a particular animal observed is a dolphin. It is common to confuse porpoises with dolphins, and this is because their external appearance is very similar, and both are cetaceans closely related. The difference is that porpoises are smaller animals and have rounder snouts than dolphins. Their size can range from one extreme to the next. Some of the smaller ones are about 4 feet in length, and others measure as long as 30 feet. Some of them weigh about 90 pounds, while others tip the scale around 11 tons. The coloring of dolphins is mainly grayish-blue, brownish, or black and white. They have a very sensitive skin, which can get easily harmed if hit by rough surfaces. However, they can recover pretty fast from severe injuries, including shark bites, because they have a rapid healing process, even for deep wounds. Their skin feels like rubber, and they don't have any sweat glands. Part of this, though, could be due to the thickness of the skin of a dolphin. The epidermis, which is the outer layer of skin, is from 10 to 20 times thicker than that of any terrestrial mammals. The skin will peel and flake off for new skin cells to replace the older ones. Dolphins have a streamlined body designed to swim very fast, even for extended periods of time. The tail of the dolphin has 2 parts called flukes, and they use them to propel their body through the water, using their pectoral flippers to swim in a given direction. Dolphins have a blowhole at the top of their head, and they must come to the surface for air. Some of them need to breathe several times a minute, and some species only have to get air twice per hour. They also have a large brain, the second largest for mammals in comparison to their body size, only after humans. Their brain is very complex, and research shows it to be more advanced than that of other animals. The skin of dolphins feels soft to the touch, although it has a thick epidermis covered with a thin layer of cornified cells. Despite this, it is extremely sensitive due to a large number of nerve endings it has on the exterior. Given this fragility, it damages very easily with any contact of a rough surface and even human fingernails. But if this happens, the healing process is fast and develops a dark scar in the tissue, which later turns white. Beneath the skin, there is a thick layer of fat that dolphins use as an energy reserve in periods of food shortage, as an insulation to prevent heat loss in cold environments, and as a resource that helps maintain the hydrodynamic shape of their body. Most species have a gray or bluish color in the dorsal area and a white or light gray in the ventral area. This coloration is particularly useful for camouflage because if you see a dolphin from above, its dark skin is confused with the ocean floor, while when seeing it from below, the color of its belly is similar to the ocean surface brightened by the sunlight. However, not all species have the same color pattern described. The Amazon River dolphin has a pink color in its skin, therefore is known as the pink dolphin. Also, some species have stripes or spots of different sizes, colors, and shapes. The bone structure of dolphins is lighter than that of terrestrial mammals, as it has to withstand less weight in the water. Dolphins have an adjustable rib cage, thanks to which they can swim in low-pressure environments without suffering damage. The neck is rather short because the 7 cervical vertebrae are fused together. The skeleton still retains vestiges of a terrestrial life, like a pair of floating bones under the backbone that should have been a pelvis. On the other hand, the body of the dolphins is fusiform and hydrodynamic, perfectly adapted to life in the water. It has 3 main parts: a head, trunk, and a tail, which include other elements. The head includes the brain, eyes, ears, blowhole, melon, and the mouth. The brain of these cetaceans is large, and its mass is slightly greater than that of humans. It is 15 to 16 times bigger than the brain of a shark of similar size. Their eyes are located on each side of their head. They provide a broad field of view and are very sensitive despite the inability to identify colors. They can move independently of one another, but they're not able to look directly up or down. Dolphins do not have external ears, but they have small openings behind their eyes, which lead to an ear canal. Their blowhole is an orifice located at the top of their head that serves to breathe and to make sounds, and it has kind of a muscular membrane that prevents water from entering the body whenever the dolphin is submerged. Their melon is a spherical organ located in front of the skull used for echolocation. The rounded shape of this mass of adipose tissue is what gives dolphins the shape of their forehead. The mouth is located in the front area of the head. It has several teeth whose number varies according to species, but are usually around 80 to 100. The jaws are elongated and play a significant role in the sensory system of the dolphin. Now, the trunk includes the dorsal fin and the flippers, the lungs, the stomach, intestines, bladder, postanal hump, and the genitals. Now, the dorsal fin is the fin that's on top of the dolphin's body. They only have one dorsal fin that gives them stability when swimming, preventing them from spinning involuntarily in the water. There are a couple of species that actually lack this dorsal fin. Their flippers are in the lower part of their body. And dolphins have 2 pectoral flippers which are curved, useful for directing and controlling movements and speed when swimming. Like all mammals, dolphins have lungs and breathe air. They are the organ of the respiratory system which process the air inhaled through the spiracle. Unlike humans that do it instinctively, dolphins breathe conscientiously. Their stomach is in the middle part of their body and has several sections. The intestines, just as in other mammals, they serve to absorb nutrients from the food and remove unused material from it. Their bladder is nearly at the end of the trunk and is very tiny. They have what's called a postanal hump, and it is a protuberance in the lower part of the body only found in adult males. The genitals, also in the inferior part of the body, are hidden in slits. Males have 2 slits that conceal the penis and anus, while the females have only one that contains the vagina and anus, and 2 mammary slits on both sides of this one slit. And their tail contains a peduncle, a caudal fin, and flukes. The peduncle is the narrow section that connects the flukes with the rest of the body. The caudal fin functions as a propellant when swimming. It moves from top to bottom and not from side to side, as in the case of fish. Flukes are the two sections of the caudal fin. Another anatomical adaptation is that when dolphins sleep, only one hemisphere of their brain will rest at a time. The other hemisphere allows them to be alert for dangers and to reach the surface for breathing at regular intervals. Another unique characteristic of the dolphin anatomy is that they don't have hair covering their body. They may be born with a few hairs, but they lose them soon after being born. And this brings me into dolphin reproduction. Now, dolphins can mate throughout the year, though in some areas there is a peak in spring and fall. The gestation period for dolphins is 9 to 17 months, depending on the species. When it's time to give birth, the female will distance herself from the pod, often going near the surface of the water. Dolphins usually only have one calf. Twins are very rare. As soon as the calf is born, the mother must quickly take him or her to the surface to take their first breath. During the first days of life, the baby is nursed every 20 minutes during the first 24 hours and usually follows his mother when swimming. The calf will nurse from 11 months to 2 years, and after the nursing period is over, he or she may still stay with their mother until between 3 and 8 years old. The newborn has dark skin and lighter bands that run through his torso called fetal bands that disappear after several weeks. Both the dorsal fin and the pectoral flippers are very soft but harden over time. The dorsal fin stiffens a few hours after birth. The young can weigh between 23 to 65 pounds at birth. They will consume milk from their mother for 1 year to 3 years, being introduced to fish and squid when they're around 4 months of age. The fat in the mother's milk helps them grow very quickly. The behavior of females with their offspring is different according to each mother. Some are comfortable allowing their calves swimming almost freely, but others are more overprotective. If a child is healthy, the mother is calm and her behavior is normal, but if her offspring have any health problems, she'll behave abnormally. The calves are coordinated to swim, they have their eyes open and their senses are fully alert. At the same time, other dolphins of the pod keep close to the offspring and the mother. When the pod is in movement, the young are at the center of it, with protection all around them to have the best chance of survival. After being fully weaned, the males will leave the pod and join another one, while the females may live in the same pod as their mother for their entire life. A mature dolphin will usually only have one calf every 3 to 6 years. This slow rate of reproduction is one of the common problems that makes it hard to increase the number of any species of dolphins. It is difficult to estimate the population numbers since there are 36 species spanning a large geographic area. Dolphins live in social groups called pods. They can range in numbers of 5 to several hundred. Some pods may join together to create superpods. These pods can include different species that seem to cooperate well and even hunt together. These superpods, which can reach numbers into the thousands, provide some protection against predators. There is no hierarchy within the pods, and members can come and go as they please, and even live in multiple pods. There are 3 different types of pods: nursery pods, juvenile pods, and male pods. So the nursery groups are with mothers and their offspring. A calf will stay with his mother from birth up to a few years after weaning. Usually the mother's bond with her son is very close and continues until the young dolphin is 6 to 8 years old. Since offspring are vulnerable, the females with calves join and form groups where they help each other to feed and protect their offspring. If a young female gets pregnant, she can return to her natal pod to give birth and care for her calf, along with the other female relatives, forming a multi-generational group. The males usually do not get close to these groups. Juvenile pods are for both males and females, leaving their breeding group and joining with other young dolphins. But curiously, they go to the group of their mothers occasionally for a while and then return to their youth group. Two male dolphins can stay together for 10, 15, or 20 consecutive years. The members of these groups are engaged in socializing with others and establishing a preamble to mating. Genres, however, are not intimately related for extended periods of time, and once a female becomes pregnant, she will join the nursery group. Now, adult males have pods of their own, and the structure of these male pods is very complex and similar to a human male group. Often males are related to 2 or 3 individuals in these all-male pods and create partnerships for cooperation purposes. 2 male dolphins can stay together for 10, 15, or 20 consecutive years. The smaller groups have the objective of cooperating to ensure the mating of the others with a specific female. The larger groups make alliances with other herds of males to defend themselves, but also to compete. They continue moving from pod to pod throughout their lives. Males are dominant in all groups, but there is no evidence of strong social bonds between them and the females. An example of social interaction and their high intelligence is the regular playing activities they perform. Juvenile and adult dolphins often chase each other and toss items such as seaweed back and forth. Most experts believe that the social relationships formed by dolphins are long-lasting. Dolphins are well known for their agility and playful behavior, making them a favorite of wildlife watchers. Many species will leap out of the water and spy hop, which is when they rise vertically out of the water to view their surroundings. They'll follow ships and often synchronize their movements with one another. Scientists believe that dolphins conserve energy by swimming alongside ships, a practice known as bow riding. Dolphins are sleek swimmers that can reach speeds over 18 miles per hour. Dolphins are very curious and known to approach humans in the water whenever given the chance. Now, dolphins communicate with their pods through squeaks, clicks, and whistles. Not all sounds are the same. They vary in frequency, volume, wavelength, and pattern, and depend on the intention or the situation in which the dolphins are. If they're scared, excited, or in a context of socialization, they tend to make whistles. But if they're in trouble, they make clicks with their jaws. In general, they communicate using low-frequency sounds, but emit other high-frequency signals when using echolocation. Most people have heard the chirping, squeaking noises made by dolphins, which they use to communicate with other dolphins or for echolocation. Dolphins use echolocation to detect even a 3-inch object as far as the length of a football field. Each dolphin has a unique whistle that identifies him or her with other members of the group. If an individual is in distress, he or she uses a particular sound that indicates help is needed, so the pod responds quickly. Dolphins produce frequency modulated sounds by changing the tone while emitting them. That is, it can go up or down. Dolphins produce sounds from the vibrations of an air sac in their respiratory cavities. They lack vocal cords, so they are unable to make emissions with them. When the air enters through the blowhole, the nasal air sacs swell and some structures of the nasal passages called phonic lips open and close continually, vibrating the surrounding tissues and generating sound waves. The waves group in bundles in the melon and the dolphin directs them forward. Then the sound waves bounce back when they find objects in their path. Part of the signal bounces back and returns to the dolphin as an echo. It may seem strange, but the bones of the lower jaw are the principal areas of reception of sound. From there, they travel to the inner ear and then to the auditory centers of the brain. The brain receives the returned sound waves in the form of nerve impulses, and the dolphin can interpret the echo. So what is the difference between a dolphin and a porpoise? I touched on it a little bit, but here's some more information. The biggest difference is their size, with all species of porpoise being that much smaller than their dolphin cousins. Porpoises don't have the pronounced beak that most but not all dolphins have, and they also have a different teeth shape. Porpoise teeth are spade-shaped, whilst dolphins are conical. A dolphin has a hooked or curved dorsal fin, except for those species that don't have a dorsal fin, whereas a porpoise has a more triangular dorsal fin, and generally speaking, dolphin bodies are leaner, whilst porpoises are a little more chunky. Dolphins are also more talkative than porpoises. The whistles made by dolphins are produced through their blowholes, and whilst porpoises do not do this, possibly due to structural differences in the porpoise's blowhole, they can still be pretty noisy as they puff the air out whenever they surface. Dolphins and porpoises also have similarities, one of which is their extreme intelligence. As research evolves, it is likely that more or perhaps fewer differences between dolphins and porpoises will be revealed. Now, wrapping up the video, I'd like to go over some of the threats that impact dolphins. For centuries, people have hunted dolphins for their meat and blubber. Dolphins are at risk mainly due to anthropogenic causes. In all the bodies of water where they reside, humans have contributed to contaminate them with plastic, chemicals, and oils. These forms of pollution can harm the dolphins internally, but they also kill their food sources, so it becomes harder every day for dolphins to find enough to survive. Additionally, commercial fishing is another significant danger to dolphins because they get caught in nets and other devices, besides further reducing their food availability. Humans and their water-related activities, such as recreational activities or maritime traffic, are extremely common in the areas where dolphins live. The risk of injury or death from being struck by boats and propellers is very likely. In some regions, the intentional catch of dolphins for their meat and oil is also common. While only a small population of people consume them, there is a market for it that results in many of them needlessly killed every single year. Some of the conservation efforts have involved putting pressure on governments of those countries to ban such hunting. Some species of dolphins are considered to be critically endangered or are already extinct at this point. The Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972 and the Endangered Species Act of 1973 both offer dolphins protection, but it's just not enough. Beaching is probably the most tragic thing that we can see. This happens when a pod of dolphins have apparently killed themselves by swimming onto a beach and lodging themselves there. Why do dolphins do this? The most accepted theory is that something confuses their echolocation, taking them to the beach instead of the open ocean. Some autopsies of beach dolphin bodies show a very high percentage of damaged hearing, suggesting that a powerful sound may have blown out their hearing. Although dolphins see quite well, without their hearing sense they are disoriented and blinded. When one dolphin beaches himself, the others are at risk because they'll try to help him. Why does this matter? Why do we need to protect dolphins? Well, from an ethical point of view, all species deserve to survive in nature and have an optimal life without suffering. From a biological perspective, their disappearance causes irregularities in the food chain that affects other natural processes, even affecting humans indirectly. Their presence in the world is not as appreciated as it should be. Dolphins may have an image of friendly and charming animals, but probably their existence is not believed necessary for the survival of other life forms. Would life on Earth be the same without them? The truth is that dolphins are an inherent part of the cultural history of humanity. They have accompanied humans on their sea voyages for thousands of years, and such a presence appears in many artistic expressions of both ancient and modern cultures. They are part of a tiny group of animals that can approach voluntarily to humans with no intention of doing harm. They can even save human lives, and this has been reported throughout history. Dolphins are also indicators of the health of the ocean biome, as their presence or absence can give an idea of the general state of these areas. Dolphins play a significant role in the balance of the ecosystems. Their high position in the food chain allows them to feed on small prey that can be old or diseased. In these cases, dolphins clean the area and thus prevent the spread of diseases. Likewise, their non-existence in a zone can have consequences such as the appearance of pests, as there are no species that feed on lower-level animals in the food chain. In this sense, dolphins are also indicators of the health of the ocean biome, as their presence or absence can give an idea of the general condition of the area. Anyone interested in the future of dolphins and the balance of the natural ecosystems can contribute to the preservation of dolphins, either directly or indirectly. The following conservation strategies are useful and easy to do if you want to help. The best thing that you can do is to become vegan. This ethical choice can have the greatest impact on dolphins and all species of our planet. Some other things you can include in your daily habits are reducing the use of plastic bags and other products. Once in the water, these objects become deadly weapons that can be ingested by many animals or injure them. You can use natural or biodegradable cleaning products that avoid water pollution in the habitat of dolphins. In general, just implementing the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle, because this diminishes water pollution. You can participate in coastal cleaning programs. You can avoid going to dolphinariums, which will help reduce the capture of wild dolphins. Dolphinariums include SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, or anywhere that dolphins are kept in small tanks. By not going to these places, you do not fund the capture of wild dolphins. You're no longer funding the captivity of dolphins, and this in turn means that wild dolphins can live out their natural lifespan. Please do not feed wild dolphins. Food for humans is not healthy for dolphins and could change their eating behaviors. And last but not least, you can work with organizations and conservation programs that help dolphins as much as possible. I'll leave a link of a couple of different organizations that you can check out, and also some links to help you go vegan if you would like to try that. So this is the end of the video. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that this was relaxing. Stay tuned for more videos in the future.